What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Dueling podcast. I'm Grayson. Not below me. You're right next to me, right? Aren't you? Yeah, it's Geek.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, and then below me is Miller. And the reason Miller's here is because he's both me and Geek's DM. And today we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves from 2023. Yeah, 3.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, there's also a Dungeons and Dragons movie from 2000.
Maybe we should have watched that one also. Made this a twofer.
I would have killed myself.
Can you not handle 2 movies?
Yeah, are you like afraid of 2 films?
I've watched that movie before.
Oh.
I haven't.
It's not very good. But this movie, pretty fucking good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Other than Chris Pine.
Yeah, you have a vendetta, apparently.
I have to repeat this because we tried recording this once and it didn't work. But yeah, Chris Pine's just a douchebag apparently, and ever since I found that out, I've just hated anything with him in it, and that's why I didn't watch this movie until today. Well, last night.
But this is a good movie.
It is a good movie,
even though it has.
It would
Chris
be
Pine
better if Chris Pine was replaced with like almost anyone else.
Listen, I don't know, man. He plays such a good bard.
I was gonna say, he's a pretty fucking good bard.
He sold it so well. He
only plays bards. He would know.
This might actually.
I don't. Yeah,
right.
But,
this
This
plays into your hand.
Off of how Miller plays bards and how everyone ever plays bards. Chris Pine's not a bard.
He is though.
Literally a bard.
What?
Listen. Okay. Everything he does in the movie is charisma based. Literally every important thing he does is a charisma based thing. I understand he doesn't like cast any spells or anything, but he plays his lute, he sings, and he is a charisma based character. That is a bard.
Sure. There's lots of charisma based characters though.
Okay, but it's not like he's
Warlock, sorcerer, paladin,
right?
All charisma based.
Right, but he's not any of those. He doesn't have some sort of oath. No, he doesn't have a deity. He doesn't have innate magic.
The issue for me and him being a bard, yes, he sings twice. So does the barbarian sings actually more than he does. Actually, because every time he sings, she sings, and then she sings on her own later in the fucking movie. She sings more. So the bard doesn't sing the most, doesn't do any bard spells, doesn't do anything really useful except get in the way most of the time. Yes, he lies to people, and that works. That's more rogue than bard.
He's a Harper.
I don't know. That doesn't mean what you think it means. Well, I was gonna say Harpers are like, that's just like an army.
At worst, he is a bard rogue multi-class. I could give you that. But he whatever he is, he's a highly charisma and music based character. If you want to say he's a rogue, I think you could have played a better bard. Is all I'm saying. Well, I play bards way differently. I don't do the like cocky, deceiving type of bard. I do the like silly, goofy guy that plays music and is a good time bard.
Sure.
But like in the traditional sense of the bard being like the you know, the leader, the charismatic one, the almost just wins with his tongue as opposed to winning with brute strength or spells. I know I worded that poorly. With his wit. He wins with his wit as opposed to his strength or magic or anything like that. To me, I mean, that's kind of like what a stereotypical bard is. He's just not... I know like, I'm trying to think of good examples of bards, and I can't... Like, Alfira, I guess, from Baldur's Gate is where my mind goes, and I know Geek is probably in the same boat. She's a different flavor of bard, obviously. She's a lot more... Like, a lot more... I mean, sweet is definitely one way to describe it, but that's not what I'm looking at. Whimsical. She's a lot more whimsical. That's the word I wanted.
Bards are to me, all bards are whimsical. I don't know of a non-whimsical bard. Not one. Except for Chris Pine, which just, I feel like, lends back to the he's a douchebag and has no whimsy.
I have a new NPC idea then. Thank you for that.
A non-whimsical bard? Miller, you'll hate it.
Well, NPC, not PC.
Yeah, I
couldn't
don't
do
care.
it for an extended period, but as a one-off NPC, absolutely.
That you're gonna get Dino to kill, man. You're gonna hate it. But like, because even Volo, he's a bard. That is the most whimsical motherfucker of all
Is
time.
Volo a bard?
Yes, Volo is a
Yeah.
bard.
Oh,
Literally,
okay.
the entire history of
Oh,
Volo
yeah.
is he sings and he writes books. That's a bard,
that's
man.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Originally, he was a wizard because Volo
That's
was
why I got
created
tripped up.
originally when bards didn't exist. So he was a
Right.
wizard. But now
That's what had me tripped up.
bards exist, so he's a bard.
Right. Yeah. That. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get not liking Chris Pine because he is apparently a douchebag in real life, but like,
I will
think he
acknowledge,
does.
like, his character was fine. It's Chris
I was gonna
Pine,
say-
so it's still like,
Yeah.
you know how it is if you don't like an actor.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm obviously biased considering he is a bard, but Edgin was my favorite character. Like, I really liked his character in this movie.
I want to play a druid so bad. I can't wait for Sam to get his game back. Up and going.
can I just kill
Good luck.
rakes and you become a druid?
No, I actually like
The
Rick.
people are asking.
God damn, dude, it would take no time at all. One spell and you're gone. Just give me one
Grayson, I
shot.
may have good news for you here soon, depending on how things play out in our campaign.
Oh, wonderful.
Wait, what?
You'll find out.
No,
I have no idea.
what do you?
You'll find out.
I don't like it. Stop it.
So why we play D&D, geek, so we can continue the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wednesday.
the way he said that is like we're all gonna end up with new characters, and that's
Yeah,
no.
or TPK incoming.
Yeah, you guys will see. You guys will
You
see.
can't do this.
But I think they did the whole like stereotypical D&D party composition
Oh, yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
Like
I think
across
the
the board.
The whole story.
sorry, go ahead.
Because it,
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't take itself seriously, but it takes some time to actually develop like actual
Absolutely.
bad guys, and it's like there's some serious points in time where that you take a moment, and then it immediately breaks into comedy. It's like they
Yeah.
nailed the D&D tone perfectly.
Yeah. 100%.
Uh-huh.
I also love how meta it is sometimes. Like, why can you only ask them 5 questions? That feels arbitrary. Like, I love
Yeah.
how meta it is at some points. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
I think my favorite thing is how, like, my brain obviously being a DM is going off of what this would be like. Every scene that plays out, I'm thinking how it would be described at the table, right?
Mhm.
And I love how I was able to pick out different points where, like, okay, someone rolled poorly here, that's why this happened. Someone rolled really well here, that's why this happened. Like, my favorite example is during the fight at the end where Edgin is able to, what was it he did? He jumped over the like dragon's tail and then immediately fell over.
Mhm.
It's like that was back-to-back deck saves.
Yeah.
He passed one, failed the next one, and that's why that ended up happening. Or like when they're trying to distract with the projection of Edgin, Simon ends up screwing up his spell. Someone failed a stealth check. That's all that is. It's like I thought that was really cool too, because like Grayson hit the nail on the head with the whole point of it not taking itself seriously, because it absolutely does not until it needs to, and they captured the spirit so well.
And I love them incorporating like actual Sword Coast lore randomly.
Yeah.
I love. I'm not going to say any of it's perfect, but I don't know what perfect is, because D&D lore, while there is set lore, there's not. It changes for every
Right.
game. So what I know and what you know might be entirely different, just because even if you read the book, shit changes all the time.
Yeah.
It just happens. But I do appreciate them not just trying to call it D&D but make entirely their own thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Hugh Grant's character's an asshole.
It's Hugh Grant,
Yeah.
my guy.
That's fair.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's your rogue.
Yes.
If we're talking about like
I hate
that's the
it,
other
but yes.
reason too. That's the other reason too why I think Edgin is absolutely a bard, because I feel like with them just trying to cover their bases across the board with classes, it wouldn't make sense to have 2 rogues.
Mhm.
You know, because you have a sorcerer, you have a barbarian, you have a bard, you have a druid, and you have a rogue is like the big 5, and that's like the stereotypical big 5. And then you also have the paladin DMPC who comes in,
is he a
fucks
paladin
shit
or a
up, and then
fighter?
leaves. He was definitely a paladin.
See, initially I thought that, but also the skill with every weapon he kept picking up makes me think it's different. Because like
He probably just took a feat.
paladins cannot, sure. But I was going to say paladins as a base class are not proficient with every weapon, where fighters are proficient with, you pick up a stick and suddenly it's better than a sword.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I was going to say, Rakes can literally like fight with any weapon.
yeah, but that's technically because you're an elf, not because you're a paladin. You get elven weapon training.
I would say that's probably explainable by either you can say he took some sort of feat, or the fact that he's just the stereotypical overpowered DMPC who is there just to get the players back on track. He fucks some guys up, aura farms a little bit, and then disappears.
Yes.
Like, no, he is what Dino was supposed to be, and then everyone begged me to keep him around, so now he is what he is. But like, every DM has had at least one, and it's always a paladin. It's always a knight. It's always some. I know, Geek, for you, it's probably different because you like to make edgy characters, but like,
Well, no, it was just my
stereotype-
first player character became just like you with Dino,
yeah,
which just meant it was a rogue.
right.
So yeah, you know.
But like, stereotypically, like for example, Kenny's game that I play in, the first game of D&D I ever played in, that was a recurring thing. Was we had a paladin who started out good and then ended up turning evil, that whole thing. But not the paladin you're thinking of, a DMPC paladin, not the player that got kicked out of the game. But
well, I mean, no.
but no, I mean, they really hit the nail on the head with all of the stereotypes and just the vibe overall of D&D.
For sure.
Yeah.
Trying to think. So your favorite character was Edgin, of course, because Bard. Grayson, who's your favorite though?
The druid.
Makes sense.
Doric.
I'm saying, you know me, Geek.
That's fair. No, I get it. No, I weirdly liked Holga the most. Simon pissed me off.
I love Simon.
No, okay. I like his character. Man, you're a sorcerer. No, you're a sorcerer born in a family of wizards. That should mean you're more powerful. And I mean, that's what the movie gets to, is that you are. But his just lack of faith in it bugged me. It's like, dude,
I was gonna say,
you are literally the only person ever in your family, and apparently you are a descendant of Elminster, but you are the only person who was born with magic. The magic lives within you. You don't have to study. You shouldn't be this much of a little bitch. Come on, man.
That's something I've noticed with you with D&D is you have a very low tolerance for stupid people and for people who just aren't good at what they should be good at.
Yes.
Which, fair, but it's just funny because everyone else, they can like tolerate it, right? Like it might get old, but it takes a little while to get old. You, the second it happens, is like, nope, fuck you.
Yep.
Die.
That's
Fireball.
Rakes.
Die.
Yeah. And Miller won't let me fireball him. I just got to waterboard him that one time. Good times. Good times. As
So
always.
then-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh wait, never mind.
No, say
You
it.
already answered my question. I was dumb.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
Holga.
Yeah.
I don't know. Barbarian backstories and like their motivations can always seem really cool. I don't know. They're always both very surface level, but also very deep. Like, and I like that this movie really played into that. Again, it does a great. Who wrote this movie?
Daly Francis. I can't remember his first name. Oh my god.
John Francis Daly. You were close.
Thank you. Oh
And
my
then
God.
Jonathan Goldstein and Michael Gillio.
Yeah, they also did the Flash movie.
Oh.
Oh my god. How
Yeah.
Please, who was the studio behind this movie?
This
I
was what? Paramount?
have no idea.
Whoever it was, they need to like steal this guy and just make him only
I
make
lied.
D&D
Oh my
movies.
god, I am so sorry. They were signed to do the Flash movie, then they dropped out of it. They wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming though.
Oh, okay, so they know ball.
Oh yeah, okay, sick.
There were some people that dropped out of that movie. It's hard to keep.
Okay.
Who?
Okay.
What studio? Oh god.
I think it's Paramount because it's Hasbro. Hasbro is owned by Paramount. With their
Yeah,
those
that would make
rights.
sense.
Yeah, it was Paramount Pictures.
Man, I'm bummed now.
Yeah, Paramount.
Well, no, we know that they're gonna fuck it up now though, because that's what Hasbro does.
Oh no, this is
Yeah.
from the camp with the Power Rangers from 2017, where it's like like everyone loves it, it's beloved. It didn't really do that well in box office. It's never gonna get a sequel, but people always come back and be like, I want a sequel.
They kind of
I was
set
gonna
it up
say,
to
they could-
have one.
They could print money with one of two things.
Mhm.
Sequel with these characters where there's another world-ending threat, because that's every D&D game ever. You stop one world-ending threat, 3 more pop up.
Well, they didn't
Or-
stop the threat. Zastam's still running around out there. They
Okay,
reference
fair.
him coming
Yeah.
after them at the end of the movie. Like, there you go.
Good point. Yeah. So you have that, or what I think would be really cool, same cast, all playing different characters.
Yes.
Yes, and I want them to
That
do a
is
Dude,
what I want.
That is what made
Yeah.
me. That is my one gripe with this movie, is they didn't just kill someone off and have the same actor come back as a different character. They should have just done it.
Yeah.
Like,
Would've been
I
a
don't
perfect
care
time to do it.
which character, and I don't care which actor. Just somebody needed to have died and come back.
I mean, they could have done it
Yeah.
with the Paladin because like he was aura farm. He could have died like when he was distracted and then just came right back.
Especially considering like he is the DMPC. Like that is
Yeah.
absolutely 100% no debate. That would have. They could have done that, or they should have just had 2 NPCs, quote unquote, that were the same actor playing totally different things, but like the same voice. So like, I don't know, like Hugh Grant playing the main villain and then also playing like a shopkeep or some
Yeah.
shit with the same voice, same vibe, and it's just never acknowledged.
Yeah.
That would have made so much sense. Cinema. Absolute cinema is what that would have been.
Honestly, even having Chris Pine just like be the first bartender they run into, because like it happens, man. This is
Yeah.
D&D. Like, I get though maybe not wanting to go. They went pretty meta, but I also kind of understand not going that meta.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
first
sure.
time making one of these. I think
Right.
they should make more. I just have no faith in Hasbro
No,
to
they'll
make
fix
a
it up.
good
Yeah.
decision and make more.
Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast for that matter.
Yeah. Well, since Hasbro owns them, I just instinctively
Well, I'm just
say
saying
Hasbro.
double
but-
whammy.
Yeah. Because, like, real, did you hear the thing Wizards of the Coast wants to do with the D&D IP for video games?
I did not
They're
know.
they're going to only make them in-house, and they're going to try to produce 2 or 3 games a year. They're Ubisofting their games instead of letting studios like Larian that actually care have all the years they need to develop these games. They're going to do it in-house, all on their own, many a year. They're going to
So
tarnish the
first
brand.
3 will be
So we're
decent.
getting Baldur's Gate 3 is the last good D&D game we're ever getting. It's a guarantee.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't. And that's why even if they make another one of these movies, it'll probably be ass, because Watsy's going to Watsy it. And that's never good.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that is tragic.
Yeah.
Gross. uh,
I love that this also follows the trope of, the entire quest starts by somebody trying to either avenge their dead wife or bring back their dead wife. That is always every D&D story ever for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they start this off with like the best bit too, with the Jonathan bit, because like it immediately sets the tone.
Jonathan.
Dude, I wanted to say, like, Jonathan sounds. Okay. the perfect name that like a DM just came up with because he forgot to name a shopkeep. Like literally to a T. Like I can just imagine at the table, the DM goes, "Okay, you're sitting in the trial room. 4 judges or 4 councilmen sit before you. What are their names? Oh, there's Jarnathan and the other one and Deborah, like
Deborah. Yeah.
I will say, speaking of Jarnathan, that's my one gripe with this movie, and I don't even think it's really their fault. It might have been a budget thing. It might have been, it could have been any number of things. But the fact that there weren't many like unconventional races in this movie. Like there were a couple Dragonborns. There was the Tabaxi, who the paladin saves its baby.
Yeah.
And then there was Jarnathan. And that was kind of it. Everyone else was either human or elf or halfling. And like I get it.
Thoric was a tiefling, but not really.
Right.
That was the least tiefling I've ever seen.
They could have put her in paint.
It's not just paint. Doing the tiny horns that you can't see through her hair and a tail that exists like twice.
Yeah.
You do not see it other than like twice. It's like, come on, man. Where's this? You almost
Where's my fucking turtle? Where's my turtle at?
So I wonder if no, because like you said, there was a tabaxi. I wonder if the turtle was just like they were trying to stick with like kind of more base like wild races, but but they didn't.
You get a tabaxi, you get an Aarakocra.
Aarakocra's always been part of it, though. So
well, sure, but I'm just saying, like they obviously weren't afraid to do animalistic races.
Right. The tabaxi is the one that makes the turtle confusing. Because like if it would have only been an Aarakocra, I would understand. Because then it's like they just didn't go to the expanded books to bring anybody in and but they did. So why wasn't there a turtle or a leonin or a what's the elephant one?
Loxodon.
Loxodon. Yeah.
We had like 3 of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
2 of them. 1.
Yeah, where my motherfucking plasmoid at?
Oh, God.
Where's my Glebnor cameo? You know what? Second movie, I'm putting it out there now. We're manifesting it. Glebnor cameo. It's gonna happen.
It's all fun and games until the Ashes of Fate gets turned into a Amazon animated series with all of us voicing our characters. I think that'd be sick. Oh my God. This will happen. Tune into the streams every Wednesday on twitch.tv/thegeekslice. Haha, cheap play.
Yeah. That would be sick.
Right? That's the goal. We got to be the new Critical Role. Miller will be the new Mercer. Now we just got to get Miller to turn on his camera during D&D.
By the way, Ashley Johnson, very nice lady.
Are you surprised?
No.
I'm just...
Once Miller moves, I will be demanding things. Once you're in a better space, you will be turning on your camera during D&D.
Hey, yo!
Why are we ayoing?
Why are you demanding things?
Because we need DM facial expressions. It's important to everything.
I'm really glad you said the word expression.
Yeah, we need DM facials for sure.
Sam isn't even here, man. I still have to deal with this shit.
Hey, blame Grayson. I was never gonna take it this far, and then you guys kept pushing, and here we are now.
There's something else I wanted to say. No, Geek brought this up already, but I do really like how much they went in with the lore. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Like, again, obviously it's never going to be 1-to-1 because there is so much in terms of like creative liberties that people are going to take with the traditional Forgotten Realms or Sword Coast lore. But even just like, obviously the big climax of the movie took place in Neverwinter. They mentioned that people are coming there from Baldur's Gate. Mm-hmm. You find out that Dorich lives in the Neverwinter Wood. If you look into it, it turns out that Edgin is up from like Icewind Dale, which is really cool. Like, there was so much, and then obviously everything with the Thayans. That's what it said, right?
Yep, the
The
Thayans and
Thayans.
Zastam. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. It was so cool. Again, my only complaint is that there were no turtles. I need a turtle in the sequel. That's gonna happen. I'm manifesting it.
I mean, they're talking about like doing a live action series on like Netflix.
Netflix is getting a D&D show. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be the same
I'm
team,
intrigued.
but
Probably not.
I will say if Netflix does like an just first season 8 episodes, and each one's like an hour long, and each one is essentially a one shot where it's the same cast and they flip through characters.
That'd be cool.
That would be so good. That would be so incredible.
That would be sick.
Like, I just feel like that's such a good idea for a show or a movie franchise or something. And I'm so shocked they haven't done it because it feels so, like, simple.
Well, you remember, nerds didn't take over the Hollywood sphere until the last 10, 15 years. So it's like...
Right, it's been 10 or 15 years, though, and it still hasn't happened.
Right.
You still got some old guys you gotta, like, convince to give you money to do things like this. And they're like, why would we just change characters every episode? They would...
Yeah.
What's going to end up happening is it'll just be the cast of Critical Role doing it.
Oh my god, that'd be sick.
I wouldn't hate it. I love that they kind of flip it on the... they flip a lot of things on the head, but I love the dragon being this fat, like, obese dragon.
That's real lore.
Yeah.
Is it?
Thembershard is real, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew the
D&D
dragon was.
real.
I didn't know if it was.
No, that's
like fat.
Yeah. I don't know how to spell his name. Yeah, no. I don't remember why he was fat. Hold on.
Well, it's like
love
Edkin said, he ate his last horde.
Well, so he was overweight because I think the whole thing. So he initially, Thembershard, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but not important. Was like he made a deal with a certain city, I don't remember where, and the dwarves to basically heat their forges, so they just kept him fat so that he would work for them. Basically, he had a cool deal.
I loved him though. I loved the use his fatness in the action.
And then he was still like badass.
Yeah,
Like he fucked shit up despite being a thick boy.
yeah.
I will say though,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No. I was going to completely change the subject. You go ahead.
So he was attended to by the Keepers of the Flame, a monastic order of psionic Durgar priests. So, oh my God, Underdark dwarves. Yeah. They obeyed his every whim, and they kept him happy, rich, and fat. And they guarded the entrance to his lair from everybody else while he worked for them in the forges. Which
that makes sense why he was in the Underdark then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I actually didn't know that part. I just knew that there was a fat dragon running around.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just like they took it and just like, hey, let's make him fat. It'd be funny.
No, but I guarantee they went, okay, what's the best dragon we put in this movie? There's a fat one? Word. I'm sold.
Yep.
But I was gonna say, I think I'm not. I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm a little not happy that we got 2 dragons and no dungeons.
Yeah, not a real dungeon. The Underdark doesn't count as a dungeon.
Right. Yeah. It was cool that they went to the Underdark, though. That was a cool shout. And Intellect Devourers popping up, that's cool.
That was a cool shout.
That's a cool pull.
And then the little glimpse you get, I'm not sure if that was actually Menzo Baranzan, but the little glimpse of the actual city in the Underdark was cool.
It would have to be Menzo. I don't know what else it would be.
Oh, there's a few major cities in the Underdark,
but
like
the
I would
reason
assume
I say
it's
I don't know
Menzo
what else it
Baranzan.
would be. Menzo's the big dog.
I just
like that's
to me, and maybe this is just me not. I don't know. I can't visualize things, so I don't know. But I always, it didn't look big enough to be Menzo Baranzan.
Well, Fair.
Because Menzoberranzan is supposed to be like a Baldur's Gate sized city. It's supposed to be massive.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel like it was that big, but maybe.
Oh, I can't wait till you guys get a Menzo in our campaign.
We're going to
Menzo.
Oh, God. There are too many elves in our group to go to the Underdark, man. This is bad. That's bad.
I have big plans for Menzo.
You think Theodore's racist? Wait until you meet the Drow. They don't even like themselves.
But yeah, like across the board in terms of lore, they killed it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. I mean, the Tribor Trail got a fucking mention.
Yeah.
Shout out Lost Mines of Phandelver. What else was there?
Waterdeep got mentioned also.
Waterdeep did get a shout, yeah.
It's weird. Waterdeep is like never included in anything for as big of a city as it is.
Yeah.
It's weird. So it was kind of different seeing it get a shout.
For sure.
One thing I love about this movie is that in a world where movies have become more and more gray because of like CGI and how like the new advancements are, this movie is so colorful and so beautiful. All the shots. Like I remember I was watching a movie over the last few weeks where it's like super gray, and then I watched this and it was a culture shock essentially of like seeing that much color finally back on my fucking screen. I'm like, god damn, I missed when color was on my screen. God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean with D&D, you just can't make it gray. It's just, it doesn't work at all. Even if it was like a Curse of Strahd story, there would still have to be a little bit just to like almost show the I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. I don't know if I'll be able to find the words. But like point being that even being like one of the darkest known modules, I feel like even that would be more colorful if you were to put it on the big screen than a lot of modern movies. And it's I love D&D. It's so
colorful but not
so
bright.
Beautiful.
I think if that makes
it wasn't
sense.
like that's what
I was going to say.
going
It would be
for.
Red, purple, blue.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be gray and black.
Right. No.
Like Castlevania anime. We've seen clips
there would
of
be a lot of gray and black and white just so that because the entire point is that the colors are supposed to pop in Ravenloft. So like when Strahd shows up, the red of his cloak is supposed to be it's supposed to pop out at you. So
it would be really similar to the scene with the Red Wizards. Like when we see them actually doing the curse when the big red smoke rolls out over the crowd and their cloaks you can see like really stand out.
Yeah.
I think it would be very, very similar to that.
Yep. Dude, now I just want D&D movies based around every like module.
Real.
Give me a Curse of Strahd movie. That would go so hard.
I need a Lost Mines movie. I need one so bad. I need to see how a movie would right the wrongs of that module with the Black Spider.
I don't know if they could.
They'd be able to find. You just have to like make him show up once before like you're supposed to fight him, just one time, or like mention him.
I was
one
gonna say,
time.
Because when we played through it, so I played through it with Eero running the game, and the Black Spider didn't show up early, but he was name dropped constantly because people were afraid of him, and then he kept appearing in visions for people.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember, my warlock kept seeing him in visions. Basically, anyone magical kept seeing him all the time, and it built him as this really scary guy. And then, Eero had to create a new version because the one in the books would have been one shot by any of us. I don't know. I don't know why they build this big bad evil guy who's just the biggest bitch in the universe.
I was gonna say, I feel like Lost Mines does a really good job of introducing you to D&D, getting you accustomed to some of the stuff. And then it almost feels like it's meant to be a jumping off point. Like, I don't think you could get away with just running Lost Mines and then calling it a story. Like it feels like you're supposed to go, okay, you killed the Black Spider, but guess what? He was a part of a bigger web of conspiracies, and there's an actual big scary guy up top, like I did with the Black Spider being one of Theodore's lackeys or whatever. Because like I remember when I was running it, I made the mistake of not giving him a lot of mention before the actual fight with him. So what I've done is try to go out of my way to like posthumously make him matter. Like you guys know, with him being friends with Colt and showing up, him getting mentioned at different places and things like that. But I would love to see a movie where they try to fix that, or just leave it as is, and then the last like big joke of the movie is like, that's it. That was the guy.
Yeah, that would be kind of hilarious.
And then like a fucking dragon pops up, because fuck you.
Yeah, well.
Well, I remember you telling me that like the Black Spider is like the final boss of Phandelver. I was like, that was not a conclusion one bit. When like
no, and that's that's how it's written in the module. He just shows up at the. You're supposed to get. They give you like 1 or 2 points. Like Glassstaff is supposed to have a letter from him, and then I think there's another mention of him, and then he's supposed to show up. You're supposed to fight him. He has a really weak stat block, and assuming your DM isn't like, hoarding XP from you, you should be a high enough level to either 1 or 2 shot him. It's so funny. But like he has a cool bit. Like I think the bit of slowly turning into a Drider and trying to figure out how to prevent that is a cool bit. They just butchered it horribly.
Yeah.
So
also just an entire have you either of you read the Icewind Dale trilogy?
I have not.
The books with Drizzt. Oh, dude, they need to make that entire thing as a series. Please. Give me an entire like trilogy of just Drizzt movies. He's incredible.
The Barbarian has more than 2 attacks in 6 seconds. I'm just letting you guys know that.
So
all the awesome action sequences they have.
At like 10th level, you get a 3rd attack in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And then if you're a dual wielder, that's technically 4 attacks in 6 seconds.
Well, she's not a dual wielder. She has.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You got to remember though too, like every turn in D&D is supposed to be 6 seconds in real time. So I doubt she hit anybody more than 3 times within 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I want to time it now. Like I want to go back and like time.
I was gonna say maybe I'll eat my words,
Right.
but like I don't. Maybe they didn't care that much, but like in my mind, it didn't feel like. Sure, no, I agree, but I'm just saying, like in my mind, it didn't feel like she swung 4 times in 6 seconds or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a funny bit for like her to like stop after like the 6 second point and then have everyone do everything and then
right
carry back over.
Well, see, that's the thing though, that even in the book, when it describes combat, everything happens in 6 seconds, not just what your character's doing.
Yeah.
So yes, there is an initiative order. That's just to make things easier for the DM. In reality, all of it is happening at the exact same time, basically.
Yeah.
You're all moving. Nobody's standing there waiting their turn and then swinging and then standing there. It's a constant motion. Your character's probably, like, Rakes is probably swinging his sword more than the twice per turn. Mm-hmm. It's just you're only actually hitting or having real opportunities to hit twice per turn.
Yeah.
You're still dodging, blocking, all sorts of stuff all the time.
Uh-huh. I also, since Grace was bringing up Holga and specifically had me thinking about her weapons, the scene where they're about to get beheaded, and she's like, where'd that axe come from? And like it starts asking about the axe. That is the most like just trying to get under the DM's skin dialogue exchange in that entire movie. And it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Because that is totally some shit you guys would do to me. Like without a doubt. And I wouldn't blame you for it.
Yeah. Well, you got to while you dig out the brick to bash the guy's head. And then I love while the barbarian is fighting everybody, the bard is just trying to get loose from his gun.
Yeah,
you're doing great. I'll be there soon.
yeah.
Dude, all Holga's action scenes, that one, and then the one later when they're in the underground area. I can't remember what the fuck.
The Underdark?
Oh, not the Underdark. I'm thinking about the
the temple
towards the
in
end of
the
movie.
no, in the
armory
Underneath the arena?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah. All her action scenes are like they're fast paced, they're action, they're inventive. Like her breaking the wood and taking the bow and like hitting them with the bow at the same time. It's so inventive. And so fast.
They give the vibe of someone shooting shit and trying to see how much they can get away with at the table. It's perfect.
Real cool.
All of the fight scenes really do feel like an actual D&D fight scene where, oh shit, I just got disarmed by that guy. Now I need a different weapon. It's so perfectly done in those moments. I
think to go with that, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when Edgin has Holga's axe and doesn't swing with it, doesn't attack with it. He jams it in the like fake dragon's mouth because he wouldn't be proficient with it.
Yep.
So like his roll would suck. So in his mind at the table, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna hit with this. So what if I just use it as a prop? And then the DM's like, you know what? Fuck it, roll sleight of hand or something.
Yep.
And his skill there is probably higher than it would be. Like that. They did a really, really good job capturing the little stuff like that.
Yeah. And again, speaking of Holga, kind of, the scenes where it's just her and Edgin confuse me because I don't like Chris Pine, but I love Michelle Rodriguez. So like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel right now.
I don't know. I like their dynamic a lot.
I mean, they also capture like the barbarians, like the intelligence probably is really low, and she's like saying things that are like simple to her, but like he's like that wouldn't work. She's like, don't make fun of me.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why we gave our barbarian a headband of intellect.
Yeah.
It's like they're too high too.
That reminds me, actually. I want to play a game with you two.
Ooh, we're playing games.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to pick it up.
Are we just doing the John Bernthal thing where, how do you play D&D? Well, let's play right now.
No.
That is the greatest way to introduce somebody to D&D I've ever seen.
That's one of my favorite clips of anything ever. So, if you guys didn't know, from this movie, they actually put out canonical stat blocks. For each of the main characters.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I will say, if you look at Edgin's character sheet, he does have spells. He just didn't use them.
Oh,
it's me.
He has well, actually, hold on. So no. Listen. I'm just realizing something. Even though it wasn't like the traditional sense of like what you imagine with bardic inspiration, he uses that multiple times in the movie. Anytime he gives a speech, that's what that is. That's just that's just bardic inspiration because they all work. Like they all do.
Unless he's talking to the loser sorcerer who can't believe in himself.
Well, yeah, but on his sheet. Just for reference, his spells are at will because they're not sheets, they're stat blocks. So Edgin's spells at will, he can cast Friends and Message. 3 times a day he can cast Charm Person and Disguise Self, and then once a day he can cast Suggestion. So the thing I want to ask you guys, or the game I want to play with you guys, is we are going to go through these sheets, and I want you guys to try to guess what their stats were.
Oh God, this is gonna be more of a geek game than.
I was gonna say this feels like more of a geek game.
Oh, before we start, I have IMDb. I am whatever. And they slowly play trailers of the things. They tell us that Chris Pine's a bard.
No,
and that Forge is a rogue.
It's pretty obvious.
No, but I'm saying,
it's obvious he's supposed to be a bard.
The argument is whether or not he's played like a bard, not whether or not he is a bard.
Well, and to be fair, you can play anybody any way you want to. You can make. I don't know. You can make anybody arrogant. You can make anybody a loser. You can make anybody a whatever. It's just up to you. It's just, I've never, I don't know. His version of Bard just felt weird because every Bard I've encountered is similar to like how Miller plays a Bard, or, you know, Alfira and Volo. And he's not anything like any other Bard ever.
Yeah, but I think that's more of a him falling victim, quote unquote, to them just needing a stereotypical leader character. Right. And a silly, goofy, whimsical little bard isn't going to be that.
Sure.
He's got to have a level of like almost lovable assholeness to him.
Yeah.
Because with a movie like this, especially where the characters that you're rooting for are inherently like not just goody two shoes, like stereotypical paladin characters, where they like kind of fall in the middle. That leading man has to have that certain edge to him, and you're just not going to get that from a traditional bard.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so I want to start out here with Edgin. What do we think his highest stat is?
So do they have a level on them already?
A level?
Like, well, yeah,
they don't have a level. They have a challenge rating.
What's their challenge rating?
See, they're all CR5.
Okay, so that's okay. I mean, obviously his charisma is going to be his highest stat.
Right.
Am I guessing the number?
Yeah, what do you think
17.
the number is?
Let's just say 17.
It's 18.
Ah, okay.
It's a +4 to charisma.
Yeah.
After charisma, there's a two-way tie. What do you guys think those two stats are?
I'm going to say intelligence.
Okay, intelligence and what? There's two.
Dex, probably.
Intelligence and dex, is that your guess?
Sure.
It's dex and wisdom. He's more wise than he is intelligence. He has a 16 in dex and wisdom, and then a 14 in everything else.
Damn.
Like, he's a very balanced character. I mean, and then also, looking at his character sheet here, or his stat block here as well, his number one weapon is the reinforced loot, which does 1d8 plus 2 damage, plus 2d10 thunder damage. His loot can do 30 damage on one hit, like, you know, at its max.
Sounds like Dino needs that.
True.
Mind you, if you go to Holga, the most damage she can do in a turn, or in one hit, is 16.
That makes sense.
Her axe is almost twice as weak.
Her axe
loot.
is just plain. There's no.
It's considered a dark steel great axe, but yeah, it's just a great axe.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
It's just a D12 plus whatever her. That if it's a 16, it's what, plus 4? So her strength's an 18, 19.
19, yeah. But looking through the rest of them, I'm trying to see, does anyone have a maxed out stat? Because I don't think so, but I want to make sure.
Oral farming.
Well, I was going to say the paladin's got to be 20s across the board.
No, actually. He has I will say, he has the most, and he has the best spread, but he doesn't have a maxed out stat. No one has a maxed out stat.
Yeah.
In fact, Edgin and Simon are the only one without a stat at a 19, which is funny.
Weird.
Because Zank and Holga have 19 for strength, and then Doric has a 19 in wisdom.
Interesting. So when are we meeting this crew in your game?
Just pass.
I mean, I was going to say, hypothetically, I could. Also, Doric can only turn... It says on her sheet she can only turn into... Oh, never mind. I read that wrong.
Okay.
It's a monster with a challenge rating of 3 or less, or an owlbear. I see. That makes way more sense. Because I was going to say she turns into, like, everything.
Yeah.
I remember the owlbear causing issues before this movie came out when they released the trailer. People were like, that's not an owlbear.
The body shape is weird.
It's built like a bear.
That's a bear with an owl's head.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't. It's not
They're
thick,
talons.
like big enough to be a bear.
Which
Well,
was good.
yeah.
It's a very
Owl. That's
probably
slender
just-
bear.
Yeah, but it's probably they probably made the owlbear slender because she herself is a very small
guess.
person. Like
I
it's
don't know.
not like
They didn't make her a slender mouse or a slender
make a
hot.
mouse
She was
slender?
normal. Everybody else, it was
well,
just a
I
bear.
don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. I don't know.
No, and I didn't actually view it as a prop. Like, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
She just, I don't know. To me, the pictures in the book have always been like a grizzly bear sized body with an owl bear's
Sure.
head. And that is not what she was. But I don't think that matters. I don't know. It doesn't explicitly say that. And she does, I guess, look almost more like a polar bear with an owl bear head, which I guess kind of tracks.
That's more terrifying, in my opinion. Polar bears are vicious.
Polar bears are freaky.
Oh my god.
Hmm?
I just realized something. Zank doesn't have divine smite.
I thought that's what he was
Then he's
using
not
with
a
the
paladin.
sword.
No, that was a magic sword.
I was gonna say that was just like a plus one sword.
Does the stat block call him a paladin?
Yeah, it says medium humanoid paladin.
How can you be
He
a
has
paladin?
aura protection.
How can you
but
be
he
a
doesn't
paladin without
have-
divine smite? That's not how this works.
He has something different called Dagger Sword Shift. This is his only bonus action. It says Zank changes the form of his dagger sword, choosing one of the following forms: a long sword or a short sword in one hand and a dagger in the other.
I do
So
love
instead
his
of having
sword.
divine smite, he has that. His
But that-
sword is cool.
But that's just a sword bonus. And
No, I know, but that's
divine
just
smite's
the
not a
only
bonus
action
action.
he has. Yeah,
Divine smite's just a free action. Well, it might be different now, but this
No.
wasn't based on
either way,
2024 rules.
it
And I
doesn't.
stand by. They say that it's designed where you can play by either rule, pick whichever one works better for your character. So if you're a rogue,
Yeah.
play the 5e version. If you're a paladin, play the 5e version. If you're anybody else, play the new version.
Uh-huh. But yeah, no, he doesn't get divine smite. He just has aura protection. And then
Huh.
let's see if there's anyone else
Aura.
that's missing something.
Yeah,
No,
paladins
Doric
are supposed to have
has-
aura. I don't know what's wrong with rakes.
No, like Holga has reckless, and she has unarmored defense.
Weird.
Oh, so Holga's great axe is magic. It's just
Oh.
not for damage. It just grants her resistance to lightning damage.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And then let's see here. What has Simon got going on here? He has Fey ancestry, obviously. Wild magic, obviously. I didn't know he had a bag of holding. Did they mention that in the movie?
No.
I thought they did.
Maybe they did and I just missed it. But
I
that's
missed
cool.
it too then.
That would make sense though, because whenever they get shit, they just give it to Simon.
Yes, he just I love that he just hands him
That's
everything. He's
true.
like,
Maybe
So
they
that
don't
actually
reference it. They
tracks.
just like leave
Yeah.
it like that, but that does track.
Yeah. Also, I'm abandoning the whole guessing a stat game. That's just dumb. That wasn't a smart. idea.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty apparent who's good at what.
yeah,
Just for reference, my favorite stat is Simon has an 8 in strength, and he's the only person that has any stat below a 10.
that tracks.
Which, yeah, it makes so much
Weirdly,
sense.
technically an 8's average, even though it's negative strength. That is what the average
Yeah.
person walking around has.
I
Yeah.
think it's pretty above
Which-
average geek.
All right.
Grayson, roll me a con save.
Let's
Oh shit! Give me a second.
go.
I
Dice
should make-
rolls.
do dice.
It's all fun and games until the mind flayers start to take over.
Do I get my character bonus?
No. This is a Grayson con save, not a Rakes con save.
Fuck.
Technically, you're gonna have a -1.
5.
5. Yeah. Next time you eat something, it will kill you.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Jesus Christ.
Bro's
Let's
getting
go.
food poisoning tonight. Let's go,
I mean, I get that to myself like twice a month.
dude.
That's not something to brag about.
Yeah, apparently
Just
he
like
just can't cook.
I can't cook. No.
It's
Then
really
why you
not
keep
that hard.
trying?
It is when I'm impatient.
So just
You're the patient? I thought you worked at the
Impatient.
hospital.
Yeah, impatient. Not inpatient, impatient with an M.
so
No, I was
he's
just
patient.
making a joke akin to your idiot joke. Dumb, stupid idiot joke.
Let's see. How much is this movie's budget was only $150 million?
That would
Oh.
probably explain why there weren't a lot of goofy guys like I wanted.
I know $150 million is a lot, but it feels like it's not anymore.
I was gonna say, especially when you consider all of the sets that they had to build, and then the
Yeah.
CGI too, with like the owl bear. I'm sure that owl bear was fucking expensive. And then the displacer beasts towards the end, which, by the way,
Yeah.
such a cool thing to have pop up.
Yeah.
That fucking rocked.
Yeah.
And the gelatinous cube mention as well, mimic mention.
The mimic made me pretty happy. You know, as someone with a mimic tattooed on their arm.
Yeah.
Mimic. And then Simon's actor being a douchebag, apparently. I don't know if you've
Really?
seen the clip of him being interviewed. Not in an actual bad way. He's just like, yeah, anytime I was casting a spell, I'd just do the most out of pocket shit with my hands to really annoy all of the visual effects artists.
I think
So he wasn't being a douchebag, he was committed to the bit.
Yeah. That's why for the one like gust of wind, he's like doing all sorts of weird shit and swirling it around his hand. He's like, I just tried to annoy him. How much extra money did he cost the movie just by goofy hand movements?
I wonder how much extra it costs to make Bradley Cooper Tiny Man.
That was so funny.
It's such a great bit. Such an awesome bit. I love that.
Yeah. Wow, this movie really did not make much money at the box office.
No. Did it break even?
Yes.
Yeah, it made 205 million at the box office
It didn't
worldwide.
break the golden rule, which Geek doesn't think exists, which is make double.
I really don't. I
Break even.
genuinely think your marketing is factored into the actual budget. I don't buy into they also spend $150 million on marketing. No, the fuck they didn't, dude.
Not in this movie. They actually didn't market this very well. Like,
I was gonna say
never
there was like nothing for this.
never in a movie's history have they ever spent that much on marketing. I like genuinely spending the same as what they spent on the budget. No,
there's some movies where they will spend probably more than the movie cost.
No.
There's been times.
I don't believe it unless they
Mission
bought
Impossible
like.
did a lot.
Yeah, did they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Now
buy it.
they show what Tom Cruise did this time. But like forward, yeah, they did a lot. A lot of like big action movies will spend a lot of marketing.
I also
Makes sense.
I loved the animate dead scenes, or not the animate speak with dead scenes,
dude.
where they just keep fucking up the questions, because that is the most D&D thing ever.
Yep.
Was that a question? Yes. God damn it! I wasn't talking to you.
Why'd you say okay?
And then also none of them having the answers they needed. So they had to go through 5 of them. And the one dude was just like, yeah, I went to get my bath the morning of the fight and I slipped and fell. And then you went to the fight, right? No, I died.
No, I died.
Oh. They really nailed it with the whole vibe.
I was going to say, if Holga's scene asking about the axe was the players fucking with the DM, that was the DM fucking with the players. Which I obviously love. Speak with Dead is such a cool concept. I think that's one of the cooler spells in D&D.
Yeah.
And one of our players has it. I need to utilize it more. Well, I guess they don't have it right now because they're not around. But when they come back,
If they come back.
they have Speak with Dead. Well, I'm talking about Sam.
Yeah, no,
Sushan.
no, I
I
know.
don't know why I was being so vague. But,
No, I
you
know. Well, there's still, an evil bastard in there, so
All
who
right.
knows?
But the point being is Speak with Dead rocks.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool that just got a shout.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun being such a nerd and then seeing all of the seeing what you can pick up. I also loved the like travel scenes, just seeing different parts of the world. That was all of those shots were pretty. The volcano was, I don't know. I loved it. I don't know why. I did though.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say.
I also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Grayson.
Go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the vein of just like little things, I really liked how perfect the scenes with Simon and the Elminster were, because they felt like, you know, the stereotypical no one else can see this but you see time stop and your distant dead relative appears before you, and you know that, like, those type of scenes that I know you either love them or hate them, but I thought the movie did them very, very well, especially considering like the in-universe explanation was the second he put on the helmet, it came off.
Yeah,
so there was no like dead time for anyone else.
Yeah. I was going to say, I loved Edgin explaining that. Like, what? We just saw you try to put on the helmet and then you flew.
Yeah.
When this movie came out, I saw it like, I think either right before we started the campaign we're doing now, Miller, or like I was starting to like learn more about D&D, and the movie was good back then, but now it's even better because of experienced D&D and like a normal basis, where like I get the tidbits of like everything they put into this movie makes it so much better. So like the movie was good in the first place, but even better if you played the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Geek brought this up earlier, but like everything is perfect with it, even down to like the character motivations and backstories, because they feel so, I don't want to say generic because that's not the right word. They feel traditional, I guess is the right word, but they also do enough to turn it on its head.
Yep.
Like, you know, you mentioned Holga, her whole bit is that her tribe was she kicked out of her tribe, or was her tribe disbanded?
She was kicked out of her
She was kicked
tribe
out because
for
of the
loving Bradley
halfling.
Cooper, but Bradley Cooper
Yeah.
leaves her because she couldn't get over getting kicked out of her tribe, which is the most barbarian backstory of all time.
And then you have the tiefling whose backstory is the edgy, like, I was abandoned at birth and they took me in when no one else wanted me.
Yeah.
And then you have Edgen, who's the stereotypical, like, my wife died and I want to bring her back thing. And you have Simon, who's like the great, you know, descends from an all-powerful being, but hasn't lived up to that potential and is struggling to live up to that potential. And then you also have Hugh Laurie's character, who is just the asshole that wants money, because there's always one of those.
Yeah.
Like it's so perfect.
Does
I would
our
kill
game have
to
an
watch.
asshole who just wants money?
If you don't know who the asshole who just wants money is, it's probably you.
Except Tarnath has never tried to get money.
I know.
Tarnath just steals everything, Doc.
I know. No,
I mean,
not money though. Never stolen
gremlin.
money. He just opens portals into restaurants.
I don't think we
food.
have one. I don't think we have one.
The closest thing is our Chaos Gremlin of Dorge. That's about it.
Yeah, but
See,
she's
the
not like
issue is
money hungry.
We got a bunch of money already. We have a dragon's horde, so maybe that's part of it. Is like, why would we go out of our way for more money? We just have a bunch over there.
Right. Which I wrote myself into a hole with that one, but
I feel like
you live and you learn.
I mean, we still do all the chaotic shit anyways. Now we just don't need paid for it. So like, who cares? You don't have to deal with money now, Miller. This is wonderful for you.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say the only thing we have to deal with is our plasmoid capitalist.
Yeah.
Which is that I mean, if that is not a wonderful summarization of why D&D is great, I don't know what is. Someone who is just a big blue jelly man walking around starting multinational corporations left and right. I love Dungeons and Dragons.
I love Dungeons and Dragons.
Wednesday, man. Wednesday. Can't come
enough.
It hurts. We missed a session for the first time ever. It hurts.
It felt weird.
Yeah.
What happened to second D&D? Now we're barely getting first D&D. This sucks.
Well, we couldn't do second D&D this week because the day we would normally do second D&D, we had a different campaign that you and I had to participate
True.
in.
Well, and then this week we've got all sort. The next 2 weeks, the weekends are busy for at least parts of each group.
I was gonna say the draft's next week, and then you guys have like a wrestling thing.
WrestleMania is
right?
this weekend. Yep. So
yeah.
One day we will get second D&D again. It'll be great.
Maybe during the summer.
Remember that one time we had third D&D?
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a great week. That was the greatest week of all time.
All set up on like one day.
I was gonna say that's the most unrealistic thing about our campaign is we have 9 people, and at most we miss one person a session.
Yeah.
We're all
and normally we don't actually miss them. They're there for quite a while and then just have to leave. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're down to 8 now.
Yeah,
8 people, but still, either way.
Dog, we used to not be able to get 4 people together. I mean, you've seen the other game me and you play.
Yeah.
My God. Barely get to play that game once a month. Too.
If there was a point in the story where just like one of the characters inexplicably goes missing and they just don't acknowledge it and then they pop back up later, that would have been funny. Although I guess, I don't know, would this story be a one-shot?
No.
Because I feel like you can see where the sessions break up. Because I feel like the first session is kind of the getting thrown in prison, break out of prison setup. Then you have your initial trip to Neverwinter, which I know in movie there's not that much, but like a lot happens. I'm sure there was downtime talking with other people and whatever. So that would be showing up in Neverwinter's your second session. Then you have the entire Underdark arc is probably 2 or 3 sessions. And then the finale is probably 2 or 3 also. You could do it as a one shot, but that'd be a long day.
It would be a very jumbled one shot. That's a good point. So if there's just a point, like if maybe during the Underdark part, just like, I don't know, Dorich goes missing, no one brings it up, and then they pop back up and Dorich is just like, oh, hey guys. Like something like that would have, again, they can't get too meta with it, obviously. I feel like they did a good amount of meta comedy, as we've already pointed out, but it's just funny to imagine how much more they could have gotten away with.
Well, there's a point where you lose the general audience, and it's like...
Yeah, for sure.
Can't do that.
Now they can, though. Just make another one that's just more meta.
Yeah, now they can. But
I was going to say, I need a point where like Edgin fucks up a performance role and mid-song just starts bitching about it. Like, God, this loot fucking sucks. What's wrong with this loot?
Yes. Oh, dude, that'd be so good. I need more D&D movies already. I just need more high fantasy stuff. I don't know why that. It's a genre that everyone loves for some reason, yet they never do anything with.
It's expensive to make.
Cool.
That's a good point.
What isn't?
Yeah. Like, I will say
they keep spending insane amounts of money on really shitty movies. Maybe just make some high fantasy stuff for the same price.
We need more high fantasy comedy.
True.
I was going to say, I need more goofy high fantasy.
That's
like,
fair.
Don't get me wrong. Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, all of that is cool. Just not what I enjoy as much when it comes to high fantasy.
Built to be goofy. Use that IP for that, and then keep making Lord of the Rings based and Game of Thrones based stuff that is similar, but is the more dark, gritty, realistic high fantasy.
And I am so down with that. I think that would be wonderful. Like I said, if the D&D show that's going to happen on Netflix, I have such high hopes for. I'm so excited.
Fair.
I need.
They're going to get
good
me to pay for Netflix
D&D
again,
content.
aren't they?
A small price to pay for Dungeons and Dragons TV show.
Thanos is Disney's little pundit right there.
But like, with D&D stuff, like, I know Grayson's seen a geek. Have you watched The Legend of Vox Machina, like the show?
I have not.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good, and they do the same thing where they're really good at balancing the humor with the more serious stuff. And then Critical Role, they're getting a Mighty Nine show that's been in development for a while now. Like they're gonna have 2 out, and between those, and then if people continue to talk about this movie in the way that in the light that's being talked about, and if this Netflix show takes off, then we could see like a renaissance of D&D content, which would be incredible.
I think it also helps that so many celebrities now just talk about D&D. I think that helps, because it, as bad as this sounds, it helps the view of the D&D is only for, the nerdy losers living in their mom's basement. It helps portray it as like, no, D&D's literally for everyone. D&D is incredible.
I was gonna say, like, there are so many ways to look at it, because you do have the people that are on the more nerdy, downright, like, I'm not gonna say live in their mom's basement kind, because it's very derogatory, but the stereotypical like high school geek type of thing. Then you have people like me who were theater kids and are just longing for that like ability to express themselves and act, for lack of a better word, which is what a lot of the actors are that play D&D. And then you also have people who are like, the meta gamers, the people who are obsessed with the numbers and the min-maxing and things like that. It appeals to them. Like there's, and then also people who just like to tell stories, like to write stories. Like there's so many people that this IP and this genre can appeal to, that it really is unfortunate that it's just now kind of starting to like
D&D
get its footing, hopefully.
Also so weird in the, like, it is a thing where you can hear about it and think you never want to play it. But the minute, like, if you give it a shot, it ropes you in somehow.
So
I've
fast.
not met many people who have actually played D&D that don't like it.
Yeah.
Unless they just had a really bad experience with a really bad group, which can happen. But like Wonder was never into it. Like he thought it was stupid, never wanted to get into it. I convinced him to go to one session. His character fucking died in that one session. And he still, since then, has played D&D at least once a week for 5 years. Like he was like, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Just suddenly it's like his thing. And you've played D&D with Wonder. I think he's pretty into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I got into it, I didn't start playing D&D because I was like, oh, this sounds incredible. Kenny hit me up and he was like, hey, we're gonna start doing this every week, and I was looking for an excuse to hang out with my friends more. And then the second he sat me down and helped me make a character sheet, and I realized I could be a goofy little turtle who runs around, sings songs, and hit shit with a hammer, I was like, hold up. There is something to this. And I, like you said, I have played D&D every week for almost 2 years now.
Yep.
Like it rocks. And then also like, talking more about like it getting more popular with how big Baldur's Gate was.
Yeah.
Like that was really big. And you have people going back and playing the other 2 Baldur's Gate games. You have people going back and playing Divinity, which I don't know if Divinity is Wizards of the Coast licensed, but still, like, either way, still just the same idea. Yep. Like, it's not 1-to-1, but it's another high fantasy role-playing game with a lot of, like, important decisions and turn-based combat and spells and magic items and shit. Like, it's the same thing, just under a different name.
He's covered in a book.
I don't know.
1,000 he has.
So it's the thing with this, whereas like D&D is the jumping off point into so many other settings for similar style things. So like I don't have a book for it, but Shadowrun, which is your cyberpunk futuristic like style games. Shadowrun's incredible. You have that. You have Vampire the Masquerade if you want that dark, gritty, that type of world. And then there's now so many, I don't know where my Marvel one is, but there's a Marvel superhero based one. You've got Star Wars role playing games. I only have one of the books physically, but like
Pathfinder's another one.
Yeah. But see, Pathfinder falls truly in this. It's just D&D, but a different, that one's like not even a different flavor. It's like cherry D&D.
Pathfinder is D&D without like labels and I don't want to say restrictions because that's not the right word, but Pathfinder, there's just a lot more like personal creativity with it.
Sure.
Is the best way I can explain it. But also, like, you brought up the one that's like Cyberpunk. That's how Cyberpunk, like the franchise, Cyberpunk 2077, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, that started as a TTRPG.
Oh, really?
So, like, the stuff that they bring up, in the 90s, I think, 80s or 90s, it started out as a TTRPG. And then they made the video game based off of that. They made the anime based off of that. Like, TTRPGs are just such a untapped but phenomenal market for media and things of that nature, and I really hope that we're going to start to see more shit. Like, I know there's just sticking with the idea of TTRPGs, like there's another Cyberpunk game coming out. Excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, they're doing another season of the Cyberpunk anime or another Cyberpunk anime in general. I don't remember which one it is. Yeah, I know. I think somewhere it might have been a second season, but it's not the same characters. It's just like a continuation of Night City and shit. But either way, point being, like, they're building off of that, which all started as a TTRPG. You have D&D. It's awesome. And I've seen, bringing up other ones. Like, I know there's one that's essentially based off of like Japanese mecha anime because Kenny has played around with it and wanted us to try it, which is like sick as fuck. The idea where, like, instead of combat being fighting with swords, you're fighting with big robots. Like, I don't know. It's awesome. It's crazy how one of the coolest things you can do as an adult is play pretend.
Yeah.
That's literally all this is.
Yeah.
It's playing pretend and using your imagination.
Yeah.
And now you can make, Game of the Year winners based off of that, and movies that make over $200 million and all sorts of shit.
TV shows based on literally the creation of 6 nerds sitting in a room and creating stories that get, millions of people to cry along with them.
Yeah. I mean, there are literally people whose careers are playing pretend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
so
literally
cool.
working on that right now. I need more D&D games to stream. I want to become just a D&D streamer.
I was going to say, how many more do you need? You have 2.
Well, except realistically, I have like 1 1/4 because I only get to play the other one once a month.
Well,
that one doesn't
start
count.
your own game.
I don't think I'm that good of a DM. I really don't. I think it's like I've said, I think I'm better off just like writing a book. I want too much control over the story. And like, I do at least everybody told me I do a good job of letting them do whatever they want, but I don't like it. It's like, no, that's not where I wanted this to go. Which to me means don't be a DM, write a fucking book.
Right. No, and that's fair.
You can write a book using D&D to be your guide.
Right.
Role.
Like that would be.
I was gonna say, get this man the sequel. Let him drive the sequel.
There you go, dude. I could cook. It would be so good. I want to make a Star Wars movie so bad. I want to write a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think Disney will hire me.
No, they won't.
I say fuck too often.
Because you said, I was gonna say, because you said the fuck word.
The fuck word, yes. Oh goodness.
I believe we should wrap, right?
Probably. This is a pretty long episode now.
Yeah, we got 2 DMs to yap. But thank you guys for watching this episode of the Dueling Pages podcast. Let us know what you thought about the Dungeons & Dragons on Thieves movie if you have seen it before. Hopefully you have, and you didn't just listen to 3 nerds yap about D&D forever and not watch the movie. Next week we are tackling the Pirates movies, the first Pirates trilogy. So that'll be really, really fun. Miller, you have any thoughts about the Pirates movies?
I've never seen them and I don't plan to watch them.
What? Watch them. They're incredible.
I have so many other things I need to watch that I would prioritize.
Damn, bro didn't understand my Jack Sparrow reference when I made Aegon. That just makes me sad.
I know who Jack Sparrow is. I get the whole vibe there. I just don't. I haven't seen the movies. Jack Sparrow, like, he is a character that transcends those movies.
That's
He's just a
fair.
character in the popular zeitgeist.
That's fair.
It's like Pikachu or Mario. Like, I know who he is. I know his bit. I just, like, couldn't tell you a quote. No, wait, I could. I got a jar of dirt. He says that.
This
I did
is
that
true.
one. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I know.
Okay, but until the next episode, remember to subscribe, like, do it around whatever podcasting format you prefer. But until then, bye bye.